Any interesting theft stories? I've got one. Some dude went to the electronics cases and asked the person working there to unlock the Nintendo Switch OLED. Once the employee grabbed it, the dude pushed the employee over and grabbed the Switch before sprinting out of the store. I once found a $1.50 vacuum minus the box. No telling what was stuffed into the box. Once night years ago, while the electronics associate was at lunch, someone busted into the case where all the iPhones and Galaxy phones were and walked out with $20,000 worth of phones. For 2 weeks straight, we had a guy come in and shop for a while, would load his cart with all sorts of stuff, including a TV or two. Once he saw his chance, he'd hit a fire exit with just the TVs. Always had someone waiting for him. He was busted attempting this at another store. Once before the newer game cases were out we had a guy use a small hand saw to cut into the pegboard on the back of the case and attempt to steal a couple PS4s and some games. Management spooked him before he could leave the store. He dropped them and left. At another local store, a guy was busted by AP for theft. They had him in the AP office waiting on the cops to come. AP stepped out the office and this dude managed to climb up through the roof tile out of the office. He came crashing through in the customer service area. Nearly broke his leg. Cops just happened to be at that spot. It was all caught on video. That's a nice bike. Maybe 5 or 6 days ago, I was out in the garden center working a pallet. It was only me and my TL that afternoon, and while I was stocking, he had just been at the registers planning our Christmas mod. However, he'd left for a moment, so it was just me. So I'm down in one of the aisles putting out some planters when out of the corner of my eye I just see some dude sprint across the room and out the door. After a minute I follow him outside and find him crouched down with a bike beside one of the emergency doors. I said something like, "Sir, you can't go out that door." He immediately drops the bike, says, "That's a nice bike," then turns around and goes back inside. I kind of stood there for a moment like WTF before going to take it inside. It had spider wrap on both the wheels though and couldn't roll, so the guy had clearly been trying to figure out a way to take them off. Anyway, I start carrying the thing back inside when I see the same dude suddenly sprint out into the greenhouse, push open the emergency door to the patio, run past me again, then push open the emergency door out onto the parking lot. He ended up getting away with a trimmer and one of the batteries, but the bike would have been the highest ticket item had he actually managed to take. The funny part was that I'd just talked to my TL that morning about how I'd never seen someone try to steal in front of me. Swear at my store it's same thing every time and they can't stop it. Someone comes in during the evening when no asset protection is working other than me seat checkers. They put whatever into a cart and go to lawn and garden. Go out the emergency exit and load into their car quickly and speed off. It happens a couple times a week. You can always tell when they felt like they were being followed cause they abandon the cart in lawn and garden. If nobody is following them, then nobody will stop them. The smart ones come in at 9 or 10 p.m. Thieving employee. At my old job, had an employee stealing video games, headphones, CD, etc. and was trying to figure out how to get an Xbox out the door. We found one that had been opened and rummaged through. He had access to the electronics lockup room, was leaving all the empty packages together and actually scanned them all into a high bin. Imagine my surprise when it sends me there for a pic and I find a giant pile of stolen shit. Elmo, I think he assumed that if they were located, then they wouldn't appear as stolen. Goddamn rocket scientist, that one. I have a few. One night years ago when stores were open 24 hours and when I used to work till 11 p.m. One guy just bolted out the fire exit like legit karate kick the door open next to seasonal. It was like 10:30 and I used to work in crafts, so I was cleaning up and putting my stuff away under the fabric counter and I heard this loud boom. And these two younger girls ran up to me and were like, we just witnessed this guy steal a huge flat screen TV. They said he was like, "Hello, ladies, nice night tonight, huh?" And then just kicked the door open and fled with the TV. Another one was this one lady was scanning the price of Kool-Aid packets as bigger items in SEO, such as holding the Kool-Aid packets UPC in front of the bigger items UPC. It caught onto her pretty quick and AP immediately stopped her at the door and she refused to comply and literally threw a can of corn at AP's head and ran away. Another one was an actual robbery. On a very busy day, this woman comes up to my cashier friend as she was just about to give someone their change back and said, "Sorry, I need this," and took as much money as she could and ran off out the door. This one made me feel so bad for my cashier friend because she's so nice and she was so upset that she was going to get in trouble. A lot of others are just people having a getaway car waiting for them in the back of the building near fire exits.